Hope you all had a great day. Let us know what you've been up to today. We'd be happy to hear what everybody's been up to and what you're up to this evening. If you're getting some hobby stuff done or anything.
Pete the Hydrator would like you to give them the wave.
Hi, Pete. Woo. Hi to everyone in chat. Pete and Red Snail and Wicked D and Tony and Mr. Wacky Stuff and Hamish, how are you doing? And anybody else that I might have missed, I do apologise. So this evening I am going to be painting this lovely Wyvern proxy Maw Crusher.
Pete the Hydrator is sneaking about.
For my Iron Jaws army for Age of Sigmar. So I've already got one Maw Crusher, which is bright pink, and this is going to be the second one, but I don't like having identical sculpts, so this one is a 3D printed one that I've done. But it is going to have a proper Iron Jaws model riding it. So,
Miniature Regent Space Hamst is excited.
Hi, miniature giant space hamster. How are you doing?
Tony says, got back to doing a bit of painting today. Whoop whoop. Everybody's
Awesome.
excited for Tony painting.
Yeah. Awesome.
Tony's had to have a rest due to some bits of ill health. But back to painting is always awesome.
Glad to hear it, Tony. Glad to hear it.
And Red Snail's making a paint rack.
Awesome.
Woo.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I need another paint rack. I was trying to fit all my paints on the one that I've got on my desk, but I think I need the second one that I was going to have. Yeah, judging by how many paints I've got littered across my desk, I need more. I need more paint rack.
But you never put them away. They just line up on your desk and you're like, oh, but I'm going to be using that one. And oh, I'm going to be using that one. And they never go like nice and neatly back into the paint racks.
There's only 5 holes in it at the moment.
So everybody else who has a paint rack or some sort of system, how do you organise your paints? Do you organise them with the most used paints nearest you, or do you organise them in colour? And if you organise them in colour, how do you organise them in colour? Is it dark to light? How do you organise your paints? Or are you a Nathan and just leave them littered about all over your desk in a heap?
I don't do that. Just
I can see your desk. Start right next to you.
I'm using all of these.
I'm using all of these paints.
Right.
Tony says, I need one more paint rack, but waiting for the next Green Stuff World delivery before I order it. Yeah, we're not holding our breath. It's on its way.
It is on its way.
It's on its way. It's always on its way. Wickedy says, I start an organisation, but then I do a Nathan, yes. Yeah, but Nathan's got a lot more paints than you have, Wickedy. We have actually got more paints than fit in my paint racks, and I have 4. I've got four massive paint racks, and there's more paint than can fit in them.
They each hold 76.
Yeah,
paints.
so whatever that is. 4 racks of 76.
Yeah.
And that's not Citadel, that's just mine.
Yeah.
And then you've got yours. And then in a drawer over there is Citadel.
Yeah.
I think we might have.
It's because we don't.
We might have a problem.
It's because we don't really use them. So I've got all the contrast paints on a rack in front of me, and then, excuse me, I've got a selection of the paints that I use most often here at the side of me and in dropper balls, and they are a mixture of Green Stuff World and Reaper and Vallejo that live on there. But then, because I've been painting a few different things recently, I've ended up with more paints all over the table. So I definitely need more space. So I've got a selection of turquoises and aqua type colours for my Alpha Legion, and I've got some dark blues for my Night Lords, and I've got a whole load of reds for the dragon and the wyvern that I'm doing, and oranges and browns, and yeah, just loads of different stuff.
So I think it's fair to say you've got paint littered all over your desk. Pete says,
Yeah.
Gerard says, hello. Really? Was that necessary?
Yeah, everybody needed to know because they couldn't see.
Okay. Pete says, hi all, I'm here. What are we cooking today? We've had a sandwich for tea because we've been out all day as a family. What's all that about? We've actually only just walked back in, which is why I was organised as ever.
Yeah.
Pete says, I've been into town and then I did nothing.
We've braved going to the big city.
Yeah, we went to the city.
Pete the Hydrator thinks it's time for a posture check. Don't hurt your back.
That picture on that card looks like you a few years ago when you had hair.
I can't see it.
It was a bloke with a beard and glasses. Obviously, that just means it looks like you. John says, I lean towards organised chaos. I think that's what Nathan classes his desk as, organised chaos.
Yeah, I know where everything is. I know where everything
says, I like chaos. The theory approach. Bung them in a box. Yeah, well, that's the Citadel approach for us. Bung them in a drawer. They're over there in a drawer, which is about the same. So you did your stretch, didn't you? Did you do your hydrate for Pete?
I did. I had a large mouthful of coffee.
Tony says Green Stuff World ones are ordered by paint number. See, I wouldn't know what the numbers were.
Yeah.
GW and Army Painter ones are sort of ordered by colour groups, and my 3P ones are in a massive Scrooge storage box. That's a bit random. I have black and white on my desk, and the washers, the Citadel washers, which is the only Citadel paint I really use, and they are on my desk, and everything else is nice and away. Oh, apart from these two. Because these two are shiny and new.
And that varnish and that lamine medium and that gold that's over there.
This is the paint I'm using. Like, literally just got them out of the cupboard. Apart from these ones, because look, brown. People, there's dark brown in existence. So this is walnut brown, which is very dark. And this is ebony flesh, which is still too red for me. But look at the glorious walnut. Look at that. So this is I like this. This is the one that I like now.
Right.
Yeah. So what I did for this guy's boots, which you can't tell at all, was I painted him with walnut brown and then I put some ebony flesh over him. But look how dark it is. Actual dark brown, not pretendy brown that's pretending to be grey or pretending to be red or anything else. Actually, real life dark brown. Look at that.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. I think it was Jake that told me. But I'm sure you'll tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah. So there's me waffle for a bit. I can't get my guy to be in focus. He's decided that they don't like being in focus. What they're doing?
So currently I'm painting the membraney bits on the inside of his wings. So when I've finished this one, the other one's going to get a second coat. And the reason I'm doing this is because these are going to be the insides of the wings. And once the model's put together, you're not really going to be able to see this. So I'm just getting the basic on, and then we glue the wings in place, and then we're going to paint the rest of the model when it's all assembled. So just get these. This is my intention this evening: get the insides of the wings done. And then I can glue the wings on and paint the rest of it all as one. But if I can get these finished, I will be happy. Yeah, awesome. We had braved it out in the big city today. Went and did some shopping. Scary, full of actual humans driving cars really fast in bizarre directions.
What he means is we've been to Hull. Had to go birthday shopping for a certain little someone. Yeah. So we went to Hull, didn't we? And braved the land of Hull.
Yeah. I went to the cash and carry and stocked up stocked up on essential items like chocolate bars for our evening gamers, and that I've never actually tried it. Never tried it, but the kids that come in the shop love it. Monster, the cans of Monster energy drink. They love that stuff, and it just seems weird to me. Smells vile, but you know, people like it, so that's each to their own. I'm sure some people don't like the taste of Coca-Cola, but I don't think you can beat a can of full-fat Coke. It tastes so much better out of a can than it does out of a bottle.
Hey, Coco! We're just talking about how we store our paint. Mr MLG goes for chaos. I go for...
It's organised chaos.
4 paint racks, but 2 full, so if I took a picture, I think Sharon wouldn't like it. Because it's not really organised. It is a bit of a chaotic, but they're in a rough order. I think we can safely say some kind of order. And I am painting these 2 guys. What were these from? Is this a Bones 5?
They're Bones 5 Undead Pirates.
Yeah, I think you're right, Red Snell. I think they are drinking rum. And what are you painting?
I'm painting a Wyvern. Wyvern to be a proxy for a Maw Crusher. This is it's a 3D printed Wyvern that I followed the guy on Patreon because he did some sci-fi sculpts that I really liked, and then I saw that he'd done some Dark Elves, and then after I'd forgotten to turn my subscription off after I'd got the Dark Elves, it turned out that he also did some pretty cool orc stuff, so I managed to get this Wyvern and didn't have to pay for the files separately, which was pretty cool. So, printed this guy out, and now I'm painting it up for my Iron Jaws army. And it looks super cool. So I'm really happy that I'm going to get 2 different sculpts going on, and I'm going to use I've got a second Mega Boss that I can't even remember where I got it from, but I've got a Mega Boss that matches my Mega Boss on foot. So the idea is that I'm going to use that guy, which he's kicking around here somewhere. He's here. So I'm going to cut him off this rock. He comes with his foot on this rock, and so I'm going to cut the rock off his foot, and then he is going to be, with a little bit of jiggery pokery, he is going to be riding on the back of this guy. So he's going to be stood on the back, holding a bit of chain, which I'm going to attach on there. So this is what the Mega Boss on... Oh, I can't see it. It's not under the camera. That's no good. This is what the Mega Boss on foot looks like, although it's painted. So when he levels up in our Path to Glory campaign, so much so that he can ride a Maw Crusher, then I will be using this guy sat on top of this beastie, on top of a large scenic base that I've got work in progress as well. So that's the plan. That's the plan, and then the pink Maw Crusher will be for when we get to 2,000 point games, and I will add the second Maw Crusher in, and he'll just be like one of the lieutenant-y guys that's joined in. So
Red Snail says Monster and Jaeger is a nice tipple. I think it used to be Red Bull in our day, didn't it? No one seems to drink that anymore.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of same stuff, isn't it? Konoka says, I store my paint in a colour-coded, really useful box tower. Oh, wow. Now that sounds like organisation. That sounds like you could find the paint that you need quite easily, not like our chaos.
Oh, what? So you put like green paints in the green drawer and stuff? That would just be cool.
Yeah, that's beyond our capabilities, I think. Tony says, I could do with 1 or 2 of those really useful box 16 drawer organisers to help get my scenics stuff under control.
Yeah, I know where you might be able to get one of those from, Tony. we have some really useful box organizer-y things in stock at the moment. I would have to check and make sure that we've got the 16 drawer one. I think we might have definitely 20 or 24 drawer variants. But and you can stack them, can't you? I believe. When we got the really useful boxes in, I got, just to test it to see what it was like, I got an insert that goes in the top of the box that's designed for you to put a few bits of paper in or whatever. It's just thick enough to hold a couple of rule books. So you put your models in the bottom and then put some rule books and some dice and things in the top in this tray. And they're really handy. So next time we order, we'll be getting some more of those so we can sell those with our storage solutions. Because I thought it was really funky. Great idea, but I didn't know, couldn't really tell from the pictures what it was like. So I wanted to be able to see before we ordered a whole bunch. And I'm very impressed. Maybe we should do a YouTube video at some point on really useful boxes and how to magnetise your minis.
I thought you had.
I know, but a bit more in depth. The one that we did was really quick, wasn't it? Maybe I should show it off a little bit more. Especially seeing as I've got some down here that need deploying to put all my Space Marines in.
D is excited.
Screaming cat. Right. Yeah. So I've got the other wing just to do the inside of, and then we're just going to paint the like spiny bits that hold the wings together, and then we'll have the insides of the wings done. So this guy.
Look at that, my brush has picked up all this junk off my paint palette. Look at the state of that.
Get that. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, so this guy is going to be awesome. I've got this large cork chunk stuck on his base, so it can be a nice big rock for him to stand. I want him to be really impressive because he's in the games in the games that I've had so far. He's done really well. He's performed excellently. I shall grab the base and I shall show you my work in progress. Sorry, darling. So this is a massive lump of cork bark, which we sell at Mighty Lancer Games. If you search for Javis cork bark, it's primarily for railway ceilings, but this is its base that it's going to stand on, and it's going to be like this, something along the lines of that. Got to pose it slightly, but it's going to be stood there like roaring off the edge. And it's going to look awesome. So all this bark's going to get painted like rock, and there's going to be a bit more detail going on in there, and the same crackle paint that I've used on the rest of the orcs, the iron jaws, is going to be used on the base as well. Kuronoko says the only problem with the tower is when you get an intermediate colour like magenta and you don't know whether to put it in the red or purple drawer. Yes, like, because I bet you probably don't have a drawer just for pinks, do you? Do pinks go in the red drawer? That was when I was sorting out the paint racks that are in the cupboard at the side of Mrs MLG. That was one of the problems that I had. So it made sense to have red, orange, and yellow kind of together, and I tried to give everything its own row, but then there was too many of some of the colours to do that. So you start with red, orange, and yellow, but then where do you put pink? So do you put pink after red, or do you put pink do you put purple after red? And then, it just got too confusing. So pink's on its own with beige, I think, isn't it?
No, it goes purple. This is how it goes now. It goes blue, purple, pink, red.
Oh, right.
That's how it goes now.
Fair enough.
And the top one's got green and brown because we seem to have every brown in the world, and then they were still all rubbish. Tony says, stick it in the mad 80s drawer with the luminous green and glowy yellow. Yes. And Red Snail says, purple? And Pinocchio says, yes, I do.
Yeah, we like a bit of purple. We do like a bit of purple. I did contemplate painting these wings purple, but then that might not go with the orange scheme. And the other Maw Crusher is pink and purple, so that's.
Hey, how's that?
Good evening. Good evening. Hope you're well. Right, nearly there on this colour. The infill for the wings, and then we'll get on to making some red into orange down these spiny bits.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
What, red into orange?
Yeah. How will you do it?
I'm just going to make it up as I go along.
Well, I know you're just going to make it up as you go along. You always make it up as you go along. Can you explain to Edge that what you're painting, please?
So this is a Wyvern. It is a 3D printed Wyvern miniature, and this is its wing, one of its wings, and this is to be used as a proxy for a Maw Crusher in my Iron Jaws Orc army, or Uruks, or whatever they're called now, Aurochs from GW. We've been playing a Path to Glory campaign for Age of Sigmar, and my ultimate goal is to have 2 Maw Crushers, but I don't like having them the same. Don't like having models that are the same that are supposed to be different in the army. So it's fine with tanks and stuff, but when it's monsters, I don't like having things in the same pose. But you can't build a Maw Crusher. It's very frustrating. You can't build a Maw Crusher in different poses. It has to go in the same kind of hunched up cabbage pose. So this is why I've got this thing. In fact, I'm just going to use up the last of this paint before it dries up, because I haven't got enough water in my wet palette after puncturing a hole through the paper last night.
That's really loud.
Yeah. God, that made me jump.
Oh, thank you, Edge. We don't get a lot of cheers. That really made me jump.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Red Snail's just done their first resin print. Yeah, that's it. Everyone's got resin printing now. They're going to put us out of business.
Yeah. This is one of the last things.
Really loud,
this is one of the last things that I've printed, actually, because I'm finding it too time consuming. I think the home printing thing is great if you've got enough time and resource to deal with the post-print process. But yeah, it's definitely the way of the future, I think. Once some of these bigger companies start shifting over to letting people print minis at home and what have you, then that's a death knell for the friendly local game store, I think. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But there's some creators out there that are producing some fantastic sculpts, and there's some people who are setting up businesses. Like one of our regular customers set up a little business to print out things. So people who've created the files. And thank you very much. and possibly don't have the resource to be able to print them
I
can,
don't know what setting it is.
you know, to turn the volume down slightly.
I don't know which setting it is.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Go on. You were...
Yes, so like there's some people who obviously they produce the models, they can sculpt the models, but they don't have the resource to be able to get them made. So then there's people making some fantastic spaceships and all sorts of things that just aren't feasible for people to set up production for, and they're the kind of things that 3D printing are really great for. I think if you want a spaceship for your Stargrave game or something like that, you can produce it at home by buying the files and things. Anyway. Thank you, Goblin Squire. That's very kind of you. But yeah, I just haven't got the time, I don't think, to deal with kind of post print cleanup and washing and all the rest of it. I've got a little tub of thinners and that we bath them in, and I inevitably forget about them and leave them in there, and I leave things on the print bed for far too long after I've finished printing them and stuff like that. So it's been idle for a good couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah.
While we get some other stuff done. Anyway, enough talk about that. Let's talk about some red paint. I'm just going to finish using this particular lump of
People are talking to you in chat. You could like
dark red.
see what people are talking to you
Oh,
about.
sorry. The light is in my in my eye line. So
Fred Snell says, we use it a lot, but me and Little Red like our walk down South Shore, pick up some supplies at good old MLG and a bag of chips.
yeah.
The cheer is working weirdly, Goblin Squire says. Well, nobody ever normally cheers us, so we don't know. As you can tell, we don't even know how to turn it down.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We're just happy that you're all here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just glad we're not talking to ourselves. I think that's. What's the best fish and chip place in Bridlington, everyone? Well, I know what Mr MLG thinks.
Yeah. So I would recommend a fish and chip shop called Jack's. It is my favourite
Cheers.
place to go for fish and chips. Jack's is on Hilderthorpe Road, and they do extremely nice chips. I am very fussy with my fish and chips. I don't like chips that have been undercooked. I like them to be nicely browned, and I like the batter on my fish to be a kind of deep gold, shall we say, a golden brown rather than a golden yellow in consistency. I'm not overly fussy whether it's cod or haddock, but it has to be brown on the outside, because I don't like it when it's too yellowy. And it's got to be thin. If it's really doughy and thick, that's no good either.
Wow, I bet Goblin Squire didn't expect such a technical answer on fish and chips.
Yeah.
Pete says Jackson's near the Priory. Yeah, I've heard good things about Jackson's. J-Star says opposite the end of our road, wherever that may be. And Edge says that sounds delicious, and I've never had fish and chips. You see, I don't like fish, so I just have chips.
Yeah.
But you and Little Miss have fish, don't you?
Yeah.
Wiki D says that Busy Bees, it's rubbish. J-Star says Wiki D.
Yeah, it's overpriced, and yeah, it's not the greatest.
I like it though.
You like the fish cakes at the other one.
Yeah.
I
It's,
thought you like trawler.
me. That's my second go-to if Jack's is shut. Yeah. So if Jack's is closed, there is another fish and chip shop called the Trawl. I used to think it was called the Trawler, but it isn't. It's called the Trawl, and they do extremely nice homemade fish cakes, and that's next to the Working Men's Club on Cliff Street in town, which is also very close to the shop, and they do extremely nice fish cakes and nicely cooked fish as well. And it's owned by a lovely chap who's very, very, very nice to talk to.
J-Star says they're all about the same in Hull.
Right.
There's one near us that wins awards all the time, but it's not very nice. And
No.
I think they pay, because I used to work somewhere and you could enter awards and you could win awards and all this, but you actually paid. You just paid to win the award. It was really. I never realised that's how they worked before, and I understand that's how some of the beauty awards and some of like the cosmetics and things like that work. You just pay and they go, yeah, we'll make a category for you. You are the whitest toothpaste with tiny green bits inserted. Congratulations, well done. Goblin Swire says battered haggis is the thing up here. Oh, it's not. It's not the thing down here.
No.
Pete says Jacksons also have one near Goodwin's.
They do.
Yes.
They do.
Jason says patty are rubbish. The best patty I had was from a Chinese. I don't know what a patty is.
So there's a difference between a fish cake and a fish patty.
Oh, right.
In that fish cake is, as I understand it, mushed up breadcrumbs and fish together, and then coated in breadcrumbs and fried. And a patty is a layer of mushed up fish in between two slices of potato, then covered in batter and fried. So yeah, there's a subtle difference between fish patty and fish cake. I've never seen anywhere. There was one place in Beverley that I was aware of, but I've never seen anywhere in Bridlington do deep fried Mars bars. But apparently that's all the rage in Glasgow, isn't it? There was a little bit of talk about Glasgow on one of Hamish's streams last week or the week before. I don't know. Something about short stay.
Tony says, I don't know anywhere in Brid other than a short stay car park and MLG. That's all you need. That's all. You don't need anything else.
No.
Tony Square says, short stay? You're not browsing for long enough.
Yeah. No.
And Jay says, are you a Sullivan's man, Tony? Tony's put, Sullivan's? Jay says, patty is just potato, apparently. And she starts having a little dilemma with deep fried Mars bars. I don't understand why you would want that.
Yeah.
No. Says the place in Beverley that did the Mars bars has shut down. Is it because they did the Mars bars?
Yeah, don't know. So Sullivan's is a fish and chip shop down on the seafront, or used to be. I don't know if it's still there. Down on the seafront in Hornsey, where Tony is local too. And I always thought it was a bit overrated, Sullivan's, to be fair. Because
Is that a bomb? Are you leaving that on that?
yeah, I'm just going to leave it on that. Yeah. So I always used to prefer. There is a fish and chip shop on the Green, which is up to up towards Hornsey Freeport. There is a fish and chip shop there on the edge of the Green, and I can't remember what it's called. It's probably changed name now, but I always thought that one was the best one in Hornsey. Because when I used to have a actual responsible job and I used to drive around all over the county, fish and chips used to be one of the things that I used to eat quite a lot of, which is why I was fat. You've not seen me in some of those photos. Before you came along, little miss. Sorry, little miss is talking to me. You might not be able to hear her, but she's having a conversation with me across the room.
Can I just point out, I've painted this guy's hat with walnut brown. Look at the dark brown. It's so dark, it's actually dark brown. We should do a little song about how dark brown, the dark brown is. Tra-la-la. Wicked D says, deep fried chocolate and bars are really nice when done with the batter the Chinese shop uses. Wow, see, none of those words would make me want that.
No.
Just give me the chocolate bar. Wasn't messing about sticking it in on batter.
Yeah. I just can't imagine what it would taste like, a deep fried Mars bar. Surely it's just going to be a whole hot, sticky mess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Craziness. I'm sure I saw something the other day about deep fried Scotch eggs, and I could quite get on board with that. Yes. Deep fried Mars bars were a big thing in Scotland, but I haven't seen them so much recently. No. Yeah, it was definitely a craze, wasn't it, I think. Geralt says, I'm picking up a tint of red in the walnut brown. After this comment, I'm running away as fast as I can.
Oh, run!
And then J-Star remembers pineapple fritters from Poppins back in the day. Poppins in Hull, J-Star. Was that the cafe where the toilets were downstairs? I remember that from my childhood days. And then Goblin Squire, I've eaten precisely one deep fried Mars bar. It was quite nice, but the taste didn't justify the 10 years it took off my life. And then Edges are obviously now wants to try a deep fried Mars bar. I'm guessing. Right then, we've done red on the inside. So this is Vallejo Fire Red. So we're just gonna do a little bit on the edge of this because I'm gonna do the inside of the wing, and then we're gonna move on to the outside. So I'm just gonna put a few horizontal lines around here so I can join it in.
Practically perfect in every way. J-Star says, has anyone ever had a palm? We did. We had one of those things down south. We didn't know what they were, but then we had one, and now I can't remember what they are. Is it chicken and cheese or something?
It's chicken and cheese and bacon, isn't it? Something
we definitely had one.
A chicken parmo.
But we didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never really seen them since.
We had to ask, didn't we? We were in a pub and it was on the menu, and we had to ask. It was like didn't even have a breakdown of what it was. It was just on there as chicken parmo. So like, please, could you describe to us what a parmo is?
And we got that look like, ugh, Northerners know nothing.
You're not from round
here. You're not from round here. But the little corgis in the jar up top are moving about. That's quite sweet. Goblin Square says, I've had a parma when I lived in Durham and visited Newcastle. Jason says, I've heard it's deep fried as well. They're big in Hartlepool. Yeah, it's got like a weird coating. I don't think the one we had was deep fried because that'd have been too much for me. That.
Yeah, chicken parmo. Yeah, we were in a country pub, and it was one of them like stay to the road type places.
So yeah, my mind always just goes straight to Lady Gentleman. That's where my mind goes. You're not from round here.
Yeah, this is a local shop for local people.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good job we don't have those signs up in the shop, isn't it? You get tubs down to serve you.
Yeah, we need all those tourists to pay the bills. It's.
Amy says the parma I had was breaded chicken. Yeah, I'm sure ours was like a breaded thing. Yeah, and it wasn't deep fried. Breaded chicken covered in cheese sauce with melted cheese on top. Another healthy. Yeah, it wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea if that's the tradition now. No, I don't know if ours was, but they were very proud of it. Like, they weren't happy that we didn't know what it was.
No.
Red Snow likes chicken in a basket. I like chicken in, what is it? The sauce that I like from Wise Guys?
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese sauce. Chicken in blue cheese sauce from Wise Guys. I like that.
Have you seen, there's an episode of Life on Mars where they were going undercover in a pub and one of them has to cook and he puts chicken in a basket and he was like, what? Chicken in a basket? That'll never catch on. Because it's set in the 70s. That's quite... I like that reference.
Chicken in a basket reference.
Well, chicken in a basket was all the rage in the 80s, 70s and 80s, wasn't it, when it first started? So, yeah, I remember when my parents used to go out when I was little and say like, oh, where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, we're going to the pub and we're going to have chicken in a basket. And that was like the thing that you had when you went out because it was new and fancy. You didn't get it on a plate. It came in a basket with chips.
Oh, okay. Okay. Jason said, that sounds about right. My mate from Hartlepool used to bang on about them all the time after a night out. Well, everything tastes nice and different after a night out.
Yep.
I just said, hold the chicken, I'll take the cheese and cheese. Yes, definitely. cheese all the way. That's what we need. Get some cheese. Yeah, it was after a night out. I had one. This must be an after a night out thing then. Would you like a side of cheese with that dessert? Pete says, everybody, hydrate. Tony says, I'm rather partial to a filthy kebab. Ugh, I don't like those either. Jason says, we had our staff do at the comedy club in Hull and they served us burgers topped with macaroni cheese. Oh no.
What?
Why would you want that? Macaroni cheese on top of a burger.
My grandma sent me that once.
Apparently Little Miss says that her grandma has given her that once. We've not heard that story before. Was it nice, sweetie pie?
No.
Nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is one of them things that you eat when you absolutely don't have anything else, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yes. I don't know. Unless it's got Jigglypuff on the packet. And you're a small person.
I'm not getting very far with these what's this? I can't remember what colour I was going to do with their top now.
Pale green. You don't like my colour suggestions.
Oh, here's a thing, look. This is a Green Stuff World paint. This is a brand new Green Stuff World paint, apparently, that I've never used before. This might be interesting. When you get a new Green Stuff World paint that you have never used before, ensure that you pierce the top, because they tend to come, as that one did, sealed. And if you just squeeze it and squeeze it and squeeze it over, the paint will come out. What will happen is this top will fly off like that, and then your paint will go everywhere, all over your minis and all over your desk and everywhere. So make sure that you pierce the top of new Green Stuff World paints. That was a service announcement brought to you by Mrs MLG.
Awesome. Goblin Squire says, speaking of Jigglypuff, were there any Pikachu costume malfunctions? Costume?
Costume? What are you talking about?
Goblin Squire?
Pikachu was very gracious to be there, enjoyed lots and lots of cuddles from a wide variety of age groups, and had an absolutely awesome time meeting everybody, and said that he would love to come back again another time when we can arrange babysitters for our real life children.
Yeah. Pete said something about having to save his money because he's got no money for minis because he's had to buy actual food or something along those lines. You don't need to eat, Pete.
Pete said, I need to save money to buy minis. At this rate, I'll have no money left because I brought more food. It's food you don't need, Pete.
Yeah.
No, of course you do. You need the essentials. J-Star says, I suspect they were Smart Price burgers and tinned Oh no, that's even worse. Gross Smart Price burgers and tinned macaroni cheese. Yucky.
That sounds horrible.
No, we didn't do any George Pig channeling. No, none at all. None at all. Pikachu is a little bit more round around the middle, so those trousers stayed up. A little bit more round around the middle is our Pikachu. I've got essentials, but I'm gonna eat it all because this food talking making me hungry, says Pete. I think Pete. I read that as Pete was a caveman now as well. I'm sorry, Pete.
Kuronoko has just bought some of that cork and brushes and a dark cat from the site. Thanks for having such an awesome shop. Thank you very much.
We've also got an awesome sale at the minute.
We have got an awesome sale. Thousands and thousands of items across the store are on sale currently, while stocks last. There's some particularly awesome items in the sale. I've put too much orange in my paint, and now it's just orange. What was that?
Moxie's in the house. Shake your booty stars. Hey Moxie.
Hi Moxie, how you doing?
J-Star says, has anyone seen the game where you get Play-Doh molds and you make the characters out of Play-Doh?
Oh no.
The game where you... Oh yes, I have. I can't remember what it's called. When someone dies, they get squished and appear as a counter with a skull. I didn't know that. Yeah. No, I've seen something that you use Play-Doh anyway.
I'm not aware of this one. It sounds interesting.
Tony's got his yummy Bushido minis and cool decals today. Seeing awesome sale, over 5,000 lines in the sale, which makes me think that yes, we've got too much stock. If we could put all that in the sale and still have loads of other stuff as well.
Yeah. It's just making room for more cool stuff. Because there's lots of new things on the way. Some things, but sometimes here's a little insight into the life of a game store owner. Sometimes there's some cool stuff that comes, and you know that unfortunately it's going to be such limited edition that you're just not going to be able to do it justice. So the company that brought us the Archon Studio, it is from Poland. And they make some absolutely fantastic dragons. So the Dungeons and Lasers dragons that are like kits, plastic kits. You can make some pretty awesome looking dragons with. There's some really nice ones that have been submitted to our customer gallery on the website and what have you. But they've done a Masters of the Universe game, like a miniatures combat game, and it's going to be such a limited edition release, and as far as I'm aware isn't going to be remade, so we've elected not to stock it because I think it would be such a limited thing that we wouldn't be able to keep it in, and I think that's a real shame, so I thought that we would best not have it for the risk of maybe only being able to have half a dozen in the shop.
That's a terrible colour. I'm going to change that. Goblin Square says, has anyone tried sculpting miniatures from cheese? No, we eat the cheese. We eat cheese. That's what we do. We don't sculpt the cheese. We eat it. It says, did like the Time Bandit figures. Yum.
Oh, they're cool.
Only tried it with craft cheese squares, but it wasn't family friendly. Hi, still on the sprue. How are you doing? I've just declared that I've painted this pirate a terrible colour and I'm going to change it.
You can actually tell I'm painting some in kind of orange on rather than just red today. Makes a change. So the armour on my Iron Jaws orcs is orange. So this is a bit of a tie-in that this Maw Crusher is going to be orange, fiery orange. So I'm just trying to get this the insides of the wings done, because these bits are going to be restricted view because of the way the wings kind of shield the sides of the Mini. So if I get the insides here done, then I'm going to stick the wings on to paint the rest of the outside of the Mini all as one piece. So I'll show you what I mean. Once that's in place on the side there, I've got little to no chance of painting inside this crevice here with any kind of accuracy. So this is why I'm painting the wings, trying to get these done this evening. On the sprue, still on the sprue. I'm good, thank you. Just clear up any confusion. I am the one Mrs Lancer called there on moustache instead of the iron moustache. I changed name for stream purposes.
Oh, I'm terrible at saying stuff. Aren't I?
And Papaya Pariah is here. Hi, Papaya Pariah. Would you paint the cheese? No, no. We eat the cheese. We eat the cheese.
It's Goblin Squire that's making stuff out of cheese.
Yeah.
We're just putting it in our face.
Yeah,
But you know what it is like, Papaya, you know, all out there. While we're talking about Goblin Squire, actually, I'm just going to put the pirates down a minute because I'm making a terrible job of this. While we're talking about Goblin Squire, I am going to use this for my Goblin inspiration. So we created a little dock out of coffee stirrers and twigs from the garden and some string that we had in the cupboard to make a little dock side, and then I stained it with Agrax Earth Shade. Yes, that's what I did. Stained it with Agrax Earth Shade. And then out of some plaster card, I painted this is supposed to be sea. Honest Gov, this is supposed to be the sea. So I painted the sea like that, and then put some little white bits on where the things are going to go, and then that's going to sit on there like that, yeah, so that they're over the sea, and then my pirates are going to sit on it because obviously they're heading back to their ship, walking back down the dock to their ship. So I was going to use, because I'm not going to get these done, I don't think, in time, but I was going to use this section as my Goblin inspiration, because the theme word this month for Goblin inspiration is sound, and I thought that you could hear the sea. This is my very loose term. You could hear the sea from here. So if you don't know about Goblin inspiration, it's by Goblin Squire Creations, and every month there is a theme word and you do some art around the theme word. There's lots more information on Goblin Squire Creations Twitter page and in our Discord as well. So that's going to be my Goblin. I hope that qualifies. I hope that's all right. But I thought, yeah, you can just hear the sea in my badly painted scene that doesn't really look like the sea, but honest it is. So that's what I was doing. And Little Miss has done hers. You still thinking about yours, aren't you?
Yes.
You're still thinking about yours.
I was planning one thing, but I don't know if I will get it finished. So I might have to deviate slightly because I've given myself far too many projects again this month. I always start off with good intentions and then realise that I only have 3 days a week where I actually get to paint, and that's when we're streaming. So.
Tony says, will the Pirates be singing the Otis Redding classic? Of course, yes, of course. I'm not going to sing it. Common Squire says, baked camembert is a good choice. Still in the spirit. I like baked camembert. We're not sculpting with it, we're still just eating it.
Yeah.
J-Star says, I think they were drowned in their sorrows after failing to get a part in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Yeah. I think they're happy. They didn't get a part. Like, ha, we can go back to the pub now, mateys. Oh yes, we go back to the pub. We know we're in that film. And then they waddle off back to the pub. Obviously, I mean, you know, that's exactly what's happening there. Talking about Goblin Squire still, we will be coming over to Goblin Squire's channel at 8 o'clock. That's right, isn't it? Yes, 8
Yep.
o'clock.
Which is soon.
Which is very soon. So we'll go over there and see what awesomeness Goblin Squire Creations is painting this evening. And don't forget as well, we have the Great MLG Brush Off. The theme for this month is creature.
It is creature,
Good.
and I am submitting my. I will be submitting my Wyvern Maw Crusher as my creature for this month. This beastie. His base might not be finished, but the creature will be. So he's going to be my creature submission for the Great MLG Brush Off. So the Great MLG Brush Off is a community painting project where the Discord community chose and suggested a number of categories throughout the year. So each month has a preset category, which are all available on our Discord page. There is a pinned post on the Discord that tells you what each category is for each month. So last month's was okay. So anyway, and this month's is creature, and then future months are, is it tiny and movie and other stuff. There's all sorts of things, and you just have to paint a mini and fit it into the category, and then send it over to us, and Mrs MLG will expertly put together a showcase video. So there's no judging or anything. You can submit whatever you like within the theme, and we're happy to see everybody's painting progress. Just an idea to give you a little spark of inspiration for your painting in the month, and get something sorted. So I've done some. Can you tell the difference between those two?
No.
Yeah, this one in my right
It's
hand
a bit more orange.
is a lot more orange than this one.
But I predict next month's theme will be cheese. They've all been set already, but yes, cheese.
Maybe that could be one of next year's.
Pete's pulling my hair. So it's Tuesday today, so tomorrow will be Wednesday, because that's how the world works. So tomorrow we'll be streaming at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
And
yes.
what are you painting tomorrow?
So tomorrow, I think.
Oh, no, because there's a definite difference.
Yeah, as a change of pace tomorrow, I think I'm going to paint some. I don't know. Next month. Got too much to do this month. As a change of pace tomorrow, I think I might paint some Space Marines.
Space Marines?
Yeah, so I think we might paint some Alpha Legion Space Marines tomorrow night.
Yeah. I might let you.
Would
Space Marines be a good choice, everybody?
As a change to painting red and orange. It's been doing that for
you've
2
done a lot of
days.
red and orange, haven't you?
Yeah. So Alpha Legion Space Marines, so turquoise and gunmetal Marines tomorrow.
Cool.
For me.
Awesome. Yeah, we've got some new little emotes. So these are all the emotes that we have available, designed by various people. Some really very talented people. Moxie and Katerina, awesome. And then just some really weird pictures that I took and made into emotes because I'm daft. But yeah, so join us tomorrow, and now we should be going over, hopefully, yes, to Goblin Squire to see the awesome painting that Goblin Squire does. So I hope you'll join us again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Thank you so much. Don't forget to check out Discord and join in the MLG Brush Off. It'd be great to see your painted miniatures because we love them. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.